A God in Beast's Skin by Mr. Adachi, 2007. "Sir, we found a body!" I trailed toward the frantic yelling of my assistant officer. Jesus Christ, the smell is unbearable. The living quarters reeked heavily of thick rot and sharp iron. The overwhelmingly pungent odor hit me like a physical wall, forcing me to step out of the room immediately to catch my breath. "What are we thinking?" I asked, steadying myself before stepping back into the doorway. "What do you mean, sir?" My assistant officer shot me a genuinely puzzled look. "I mean, what do you think the cause of death could be? Suicide, starvation, dehydration. A man could go out a number of ways out here in the middle of nowhere." He took a long moment to process my question, staring blankly. Looking up at me, he opened his mouth to speak, but quickly snapped it shut, sinking right back into his thoughts. I think it was a suicide, or at least an attempted one." I was just about to press him for a more concrete answer when a specific object lying right next to the corpse caught my eye. Covering my nose tightly to withstand the stench, I leaned in close to get a clear look. I reached my hand out and gripped the cover. A journal. "Officer Furude, go have a thorough look around the rest of the boat. I'm gonna take a look at what I can find in here." He gave a quick nod and vacated the room, leaving just me and the partially decayed corpse as its only occupants. Grasping the worn edge of the journal with my thumb, I flipped the cover open and began to read the handwritten entries. Day 1. Satoshi was wrong. The Devil's Sea is not where the Umibozu dwell. No, rather, it is a fisherman's absolute wet dream. I've done nothing all day but haul in massive pounds of fish, easily enough to keep the display stock at my shop completely full for an entire month. Better yet, I feel deeply relaxed out here in the wide open waters. There are no people out here to nag at me, and nobody to ask me the exact same questions over and over again. It is just pure peace and quiet. The only noise out here is the soft, gentle rush of the ocean breeze. I truly hope the rest of the days I remain out here are just as peaceful as this one. Day 2. I woke up this morning to see an incredibly odd, yet undeniably beautiful sight across the horizon. The ocean had seemingly darkened overnight, changing completely from its usual murky blue to a thick, inky black. The morning sunlight never seemed to sparkle off the surface of the water, which only added to its strange, haunting beauty. The fish don't seem to mind the sudden change of scenery, at least, so I have absolutely no complaints. Day 3. I've just pulled up the heavy net, confidently expecting another amazing haul, but I was met with nothing but empty air. That's okay, though. A fisherman can't expect a massive haul every single day. Hopefully, tomorrow will bring me a better haul. Day 4. My GPS is completely fried, no matter what I try to do. The screen won't turn back on. I don't know the way back to land very well either. Even so, the peaceful scenery still remains intact around me, so I remain determined to push forward. I absolutely need to bring in a large haul on this trip, or else I might end up just like Ozaki, a total bum, a broken man who begs for scraps on the streets and lives his life in utter filth. I will not turn back. Day 5. The temperature out here has suddenly spiked up a drastic degree. The blistering heat is so intense that the paint on my boat is actively dripping off the hull, and the metal railing has become completely scalding to the touch. I reassure myself through the panic still. I pulled up the net again just now. Nothing. It is the exact same empty result as yesterday and the day before that. My luck is running on a dangerously thin line now. Day 6. I was suddenly awoken by a deep, guttural growl around midnight. The sound was incredibly loud, packing enough force to physically rock the entire boat. What on earth could possibly make a sound like that? No normal animal would be able to pull that off, not even the largest whale in the ocean. Hurrying up to the top deck, my eyes squinted hard through the heavy darkness. From left to right, my eyes intensely observed the water, and yet I saw absolutely nothing. I ran over to the other side of the deck and saw what seemed to be rows upon rows of sharp, jagged rocks cutting through the surface. No, they weren't rocks. They were easily big enough to be small mountains. They seemed to drift away into the dark before I could get a better look. Day 7. The engine overheated today. I knew it would happen once the heat picked up, but I didn't think it would be this soon. So, for now, I'm stuck here. And I swear to God, I still catch glimpses of those mountains out of the corner of my eye. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Day 8. Something was watching me tonight. Its eyes were visible in the shadows of night. It glared at me like a crocodile viewing its prey. Then it quickly sank back into the water. After it went under, the whole ocean just went completely dead. No waves, no wind, nothing. Just this heavy silence that makes the water look like solid black glass. Every little pop and groan from the boat sounds way too loud, and it makes my skin crawl because I can feel how massive that thing is down there under the hull. It's just sitting in the dark, waiting. I'm staring out at the water completely frozen, scared to even blink because I know the second I look away, those eyes are going to pop right back up. I'm starting to wonder if the money's really worth it. Day 9. The propeller is melted. Not bent. Melted. I don't know what to do anymore, because everything seems to be completely falling apart now. First it was the GPS, then the engine, and now the propeller is totally ruined. It has to be the fault of that thing. It just has to be. Day 10. Voices were coming from above deck at around midnight. I couldn't make out what they were saying or who the hell they were, but I knew for a fact that someone was up there. I went to check on the noise, gripping my pocket knife tightly and ready to lash out at anything that moved. Nothing. There was absolutely nobody even on the ship other than me. Day 11. My mom died 3 years ago. So why is she on the ship with me? I saw her walk right past with the exact same sway she walked with when she was alive. She didn't respond or look back when I called out to her. She simply kept walking forward, her form almost shimmering in the heat. Am I losing it? Day 12. They're everywhere. Day 13. My mother appeared again. They all did. All of them. All they did was point in one single direction. There was steam coming from where they pointed. They seemed scared. The sun was setting, casting long, distorted shadows across the deck, and my mother's form was barely visible in the fading light. The rest of the figures were also barely visible, their forms flickering like a dying flame. Day. It rose from the sea. I saw my tormentor in full view for the first time as the ocean fractured open, peeling back to reveal a colossal shape that defied the darkness. Its skin was that of charred, blackened flesh, split into raw, glowing fissures, while its back rose into a massive row of nothing but jagged prehistoric mountains that dripped with boiling seawater. I was a mere dwarf compared to its impossible scale. I was an insignificant ant staring up into the abyss of its shadow. The thing was no simple umipozu vanishing into the fog. It was something far grander, a terrifying monument of something long forgotten by mankind. It was no beast. No, it was a god, towering over my dying vessel while the world fell completely silent. The remaining pages contained nothing but unintelligible scribblings. Most of it was just frantic, messy ink marks, but one of the crude drawings stood out to me. It was a jagged, dark sketch, and it looked exactly like the thing he described in the final entry. Staring at the drawing, a cold sweat broke out across the back of my neck. I shut the journal tight. "Officer Frude," I called out, my voice cutting through the heavy silence of the cabin. "Radio in HQ, right now. We need to get in contact with Dr. Serizawa immediately."